We'll see what happens here in our first draft. IG on the blue side for game one, M3 over on the red. We've got the Xerath, we've got the Ryze panned out already. New Dade is already getting targeted.
I am not surprised to see that at all, especially with some of the assassins Rookie likes to play. Ryze just does mean things to them in the laning phase even, so getting rid of that one. We see a little Blanc, a nice respect ban towards Rookie also being taken away. Rounded out with a Maokai just for good measure. Rest of the board left relatively open. No junglers hit so far.
Yeah, Lulu ban there as well. And I guess with all these bans, we're probably not going to see a jungle ban. So a big question for Kakao is, what does he want? If M3 don't ban Sejuani, does he even play it?
Yeah, exactly right. We'll have to see because they're taking a long time on this last ban. I think that you still have to hit the Nidalee. Just so good early game, and Kakao's shown that he is willing to play it into anything, but the Scion being taken away. That's
a really interesting last ban there. I mean, Zatai has been playing a couple tanks, has had some standout carry performances, I'll say, on the likes of Fizz, but Zatai's not really been the big tank player. I've liked him a lot more in these carry-style champions, but we'll see what he wants to go for. He's certainly taking his new role in the top lane seriously, and right now just flicking through almost every champion in the league.
Yeah, I think he's mashing the random button there as we see he pauses a little bit on Taric. We've seen a little bit of Udyr played around the world to some mixed success. Gets very strong. Fiora, not going to talk about at all.
Yep, and there we go. The lock-in maybe we expect there. One of the still big contested champions on this patch. It's first pick, Kalista.
Yeah, so Kalista being picked up, and we've seen it built with the Hurricane, without the Hurricane, with some crit, with no crit. There are a lot of ways to now play this champion on the Rift and see how Kid takes it to it. Two huge picks coming now through for M3. They're hovering the Sejuani and the Shyvana, and that is a huge front line to have to deal with.
We've seen a lot of success with Sejuani Gnar as well, so if they want to take that combination away, they can. Looper has been good on this Gnar all season long. M3 have a lot of choices here. We'll see what they do want to settle on, but wouldn't be too surprised to see Condi go back to the very popular jungle here in Sejuani of 5.6, and it is. Love City is going to get Janna, and in the jungle, it's going to be Sedge.
Yeah, so Sedge gets locked in, and we've seen that it's just first pickable at the moment. Has a relatively good early clear. Has some ganks when you take into account how much that permafrost does slow you down early on. Not to mention the Q, but we'll have to see how it works out. Gragas, he's currently my favorite jungle. I call him Good Lee Sin because currently Lee Sin isn't great on this patch, and Gragas does a lot of similar things. Has the slow, has the big knockback into the team, which is kind of the kick that comes through. Has the slow that comes out of his barrel as well. And not to mention...
Oh my god.
That's a Shen. We'll talk about that in a second. The synergy with... Yasuo is huge for Gragas. He's got the pre-6 knock-up on his E, so you can flash E people and get the knock-up for the first blood. And then the huge team fight ultimates that come through, so it is very good. But Shen in the top lane, that's an old-school throwback.
Yeah, and we've seen, again, a lot more tanks being played now as well. Love the Gragas pick up for the jungle there for Kakao. We wondered how he was going to match it. He's kind of going to go in the middle, still be aggressive, but play a slightly newer jungler. And I love that you mentioned Yasuo. It's funny, going back to farm-heavy mid laners, lots of sustained damage. Sounds like, oh wait, Yasuo, a champion that both these teams play, but M3 going to keep it crazy for now. That is Hecarim and Urgot, their third and fourth picks.
Yeah, so SMLZ coming through with the the Urgot pickup. That could be mid lane, it could be AD, we don't know at this point. Of course, Urgot Janna is a very annoying lane to deal with because as soon as that first E hits, I don't even know what it's called, sorry. The shield comes through and you can just put out so much harass with the Acid Hunters. So we'll see what comes through here. Engage heavy support coming through for Kitties. That Annie being hovered there. Now changed over to Thresh.
Yeah, still engage heavy. I mean, I like these sort of supports against Janna, so it is going to be Thresh and Azir taking that away from Dade. Quite clever. We've seen already Baka going back to one of his old comfort champions. That was a big one for Dade when he was doing better early on in the season, so makes sense for Rookie to take it away. And IG, I don't know if we expected any of these champions to be here today, but welcome to 5.6 China.
Yeah, exactly right. You can play whatever you want, apparently, and they're very... I guess they've got two outright tanks. On the side of M3, they have three very tanky members. It's so funny to talk about an AD like Urgot as being a super tank, but he is just so tanky. And if they lock in a Vlad, that's another tanky mid laner that's incredibly hard to deal with. They have their lineup is just impossible to kill.
Yeah, and that's sort of the thing, right? It's just, if everyone's super tanky, we don't need a squishy AD carry. We'll just do a more consistent damage than you have enough good CC to start and disengage fights where we want to. And this is craziness for this first game. And remember, no team has time to relax. No team's clinched any spots yet. Everyone except EDG are playing for points, and this is absolutely nuts. So maybe we'll start with the bottom lane first. And Urgot, we have started seeing a bit more of it, mainly because he's very good against Kalista.
Yeah, exactly right. Has a swap there that just really wrecks Kalista's day. It just puts her under CC, and that's what she hates. We'll take a look at the top lane. Shen versus Hecarim. Don't know who wins it because I haven't seen Shen in about 2 years.
Yep.
But Shen survives lanes very well.
Shen, actually the best ninja, has been hidden for years now, and it now makes an reappearance in the top lane. Gragas jungle back in the LPL up against the Sejuani. There's Azir versus Vlad, and again, sustained damage, farm heavy mid laners, that's what we get. This matchup's nuts though.
Yeah, it certainly is. So Urgot wins it outright in a 2v2. It is very bad for Kalista. You don't want to go anywhere near it, and we'll see how it works out. Kitties, of course, is probably the X factor with the Thresh. If he can land some good early hooks, get some pressure down, they might be in with a chance, but Urgot, the persistent damage is just so big.
Yeah, finally a normal lane there on the bottom side with the supports. We have seen Zero's Thresh already today almost single-handedly carry a game, so we'll see if Kitties can do the same sort of thing. But again, 5.6 brought a lot of change to LPL and every other region, and this game might be the best example so far, and that's with Smites in the top lane in the last series.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and you know, this could be a very standard lane matchup because everyone's good in a 1v1.
Well, we'll have to see what happens when we get straight onto the Rift. And welcome onto the Rift. No, do not adjust your screens. You haven't suddenly gone back 3 patches. There is a Shen in this game. Invictus Gaming have opted into it for Zatai in the top side of the map and Spawn. This first game is absolutely bonkers already.
Yeah, it certainly isn't. Shen, we haven't seen him in a long time, but he does some very cool things. Of course, the global ultimate, you can't understate it. Just able to get into a lane with a huge shield. A lot of people can teleport into lanes, of course. You can take that as a summoner spell. Very few people make an immediate impact like Shen does. Being able to get in there and set some things up. Also survives lanes very nicely with, of course, a Vorpal Blade as well as the shield coming out. So he's a pretty good skirmisher. Sunfire got a buff this patch, of course, building out of that Balmy Cinder so you can grab it a little bit earlier. That's what the Ruby Crystal will be used for, most likely, coming into this matchup, and I want to see how it goes.
That's an aggressive option there from Zatai, but you're right, actually does have Ruby Crystal first. We did have Kid and Kitty spotted by a ward just in the bottom left of the map there as well, so N3 will know the matchup they get. We should have SMLZ, who is stepping into his new role here, or old role I should say, as M3's AD carry, along with Love City. They're going to get the 2 little creeps off the blue buff, and Kid and Kitties are going to take the Krugs.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to take one of the Krugs, potentially. No, they will take both, so this will be the level 2 potentially coming through from Thresh, depending on how they choose to share the, I guess, experience. But we see standard Looper takes away a camp from himself with actually a Duran's Blade, so we'll potentially be able to go back and grab a cloth armor off that. Maybe not, maybe just some potions and a ward. So we'll be able to get into that lane. And we'll see if Zatai can survive the onslaught that is Hecarim.
And again, we don't normally expect that in some sort of Hecarim-based lane. It's hopefully a farm fest usually, but that's very aggressive from Lupa. Really smart stuff, just the Doran's Blade and some consumables, but Kakal's jungling by himself on the Gragas. Condi the same here over on the set, starting on the red, I believe. So junglers could be a little slow, and these early lanes are going to be very influential.
Yeah, it certainly will. The one thing I'll say about Gragas is once he gets access to his full kit, he jungles so quickly. Even if you compare it to Sejuani, who has a pretty good clear herself, he does ridiculous things in the jungle. He got absolutely no health, as did the Sedge, but we'll be able to clean up a lot of his jungle and stay relatively healthy. So he's actually going for an early Scuttle Crab to get back and be able to power farm. I like that move coming out. But he does have very good ganks as well in the early game.
Yeah, I mean, early game ganks, not too bad. I think comparable, maybe slightly better than Sejuani's as far as kick goes, but both have very good level 6 ganks. So curious to see what the junglers do want to do. We can see the top lane sort of evened out, although Lupa slightly ahead in experience. And down the bottom, Kid, with that early level 2 from the Krugs, actually able to start the lane ahead against Urgot of all champions.
Yeah, so able to get in there and start bullying. Urgot is another one of those champions that needs a couple of points in his queue before he really gets going. More importantly, though, he needs Janna to be able to level up that E, that shield that gives so much bonus AD. As we see the mid lane, Dade doing nicely to farm underneath his turret here.
Yeah, and I think this is somewhat expected. Azir, of course, received a massive slew of nerfs and kind of got slightly changed back up to be a bit more normalized as a champion. But this matchup seems just fine, and like any Vlad lane, you really just want to get your levels.
Yeah, exactly right. And all he's looking to do is get to level 7, be able to get 4 points into that queue, and then he will just start pushing out the lane with reckless abandon. You can spam the E at that point, keep it at maximum stacks. Is a good hook.
Great hook there, double flay as well. Kid gonna jump in. Ren's already used the heal. Pop down as well. Ignite might be enough. A great pierce, but not enough damage. Love CD saving him with that shield.
Yeah, and as I said, it's all about the thresh in this lane. If they can put on early pressure, they're going to be completely fine, and that's exactly what came through. Fantastic hook by Kitty.
It's one of the things about Kalista. We've always had trouble classifying her. I think late game carry is pretty reasonable, but her early game damage with those Ren stacks is phenomenal.
Yeah, and they just wow.
Great hook again. They're after the flay. Going to go back in. Love CD now forced to use the cooldown. We actually had Kakao there as well looking for a gank, but no dice there. Just going to be a push instead.
Yeah, it actually looked like Kakao came through onto the back and tried to put down some damage on SMLZ, but then took a lantern on the way out. So good move there. Looks like more people are rotating down into this bottom side of the map, as Kakao might run in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, spotted Condi there. Knock up coming through. Good barrel there for a bit of trade. And Gragas, very weird champion now, but great in some sort of brawl. Kitties has to move around, but the damage to this turret already is massive.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's already past half, and they're going for the dive here, it looks like.
Just a bit of poke from Gragas is kind of creative. A weird situation, 2 different people pushing or defending 3v3 in the bottom side, but Kitty's getting aggressive, and I think finally some of the craziness will dissipate.
Yeah, it certainly will. They're sending Urgot back to shop finally, that he might be able to get back, although they will do some more damage to this turret. Has got his tier, which is a nice early pickup for Urgot, but he is already 18 CS down, which is just all kinds of bad news. Kakao getting some counter jungling going while that's happening. Also picked up the River Scuttler as well, so he's off to a flying start at the moment. Doesn't look like he's ahead, but he's taken some of the smaller camps' creep numbers and really is getting the gold stacking up.
Yeah, and I love the counter jungling from Kakao, keeping Sejuani down, just trying to keep track of her on the bottom side of the map where all the action's happening anyway. Kid is ridiculously far ahead in a counter matchup here, almost, actually now more than double the CS of SMLZ.
Yeah, and it just all came down to that hook coming through at the opportune time and really chunking out on a huge wave. They had to send the jungle down to help support, and they didn't get any of the CS on the turret, so fantastic job out of IG. They've turned the lane in their favor. They go back and pick up a quick recurve bow. Very much just like that. The soul comes through. Thank goodness. Goes with the BF sword.
Yeah, Kid's like, maybe I didn't want that. Goes for the BFs instead. We've seen a lot of early BTs. Still quite a few Hurricanes. I know you made a point earlier in the evening that you feel like we're probably going to move away from Runens, especially against this team comp. Runens not going to do too much here.
Yeah, exactly right. Because Runens was all about the Ren set and stacking up the Rend as quickly as you possibly could on multiple people and then getting the kill. And it really relied on a Assassin to get it started off, if we were perfectly honest, when we were seeing it played very successfully. So now we might be able to see a little bit more single damage come through, but Rookie, he's harassing Dade under this turret extremely effectively.
Yeah, fantastic play by Rookie in the early lane. No real surprise, I guess, given Rookie's penchant for incredible laning, but a CS lead there of 10 and above. Zatai slightly behind, but has his Cinder off already, plus a Chain Vest, comfortably farming now on this Shen.
Yeah, and the thing about Shen is he just farms in all situations, can push well as soon as he gets the Sunfire Cape, able to farm underneath his turret. He's just really, he's the old school top lane. Him and Aurelia, if anyone's looking to learn top lane, they're probably the 2 champions that you should pick up. Not very in meta at the moment, but they just teach you all you need to about lane control, when to push, when to teleport. They're very good champions.
And you know what, Shen, you're right, we haven't seen him in a while, but if there was ever a time for him to return, it's now. Cinder being cost efficient just makes it so much easier for you to get to the point you want to be at. And Kitties will miss the hook, take a lot of trade damage as a result here. Lantern comes down. Kitties actually might get burst blooded here. The other E hits. Stand United used there by Zatai, and that will save their support.
It certainly will save the support, but he just teleported back to lane. That's horrible news for Zatai. He was getting himself back into the lane, slowly crawling back in, but all of a sudden, Tears picked up and Urgot complete control. This is why he's the anti-AD. It's so hard to bully him.
Yeah, and poor Kitties just ate one too many Acid Hunters there after that Noxian Corrosive Charge had gone in. So now, with the levels, like you said, much better now on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's all about getting that tier early, being able to stack it up, and really using the Janna as the source of AD. Just keeps you very, very well off in the lane. And very easy to mitigate the aggression that came through from Kitties and now start getting aggressive in their own right.
Yeah, moving through some of the other items as well, we can see a Athene's on the way there for Rookie, has the Charles and the Fiendish Codex. Dade with a quick Hextech Revolver. Cinderhawk done for Gragas. You have to think Condi's going to be going for the same item, both of course with their Rangers Trailblazers, and I like this from Lupa. Early boots too, possibly looking for an early home guard enchantment.
Yeah, exactly right. He just wants to be able to get around the map as quickly as possible, push in the wave, be able to zone where he can, and Condi, he's going for an early dragon. This is extremely dangerous as we see a lot of members closing in on the area.
Cacao does have a ward, but hasn't quite popped it over the side yet. Actually on top of his red buff, sees the ward, and that might tip him off to the dragon. Doesn't throw the ward over yet. There we go. Good intuition by Cacao, but dragon a little too low already. Probably can't steal it. Might be able to ult it away, but too low, and Condi gets M through the first dragon. SMLZ actually ulted there as well. Poor Jana in trouble now as Love City. No, never mind. No one got ulted. I lied.
Love CD's his support, so he's completely fine, and his ult is on cooldown.
Yeah, he ulted someone. I just didn't see who it was. I think it might have been Kid, and maybe he got Lantern back in. That would make the most sense here. So I assume that's what happened, but Condi maybe going to look for a gank now with his ulti.
Yeah, certainly does have it available. He's going in.
Yeah, Kid could be in trouble there. Tornado will move in. They do have to kill the Kalista if they can, but she's going to hop away. Damage not quite there, unfortunately. Hook landing as well onto Condi. Box used out, exhaust, and heal used in. First bug with the Ren goes to Kid's Kalista.
Yeah, and Gragas is here.
SMLZ now in trouble with the teleport. Going to move in. Zatai does not have his ultimate or his port to join in, but SMLZ going to come in. Zatai cancelled Lupa's port. Now Cacao going to chase in. Kitty's a little too low. Shield might be just enough. Love City flashes forward. Doesn't quite get hooked, but the second kill going to Kalista. SMLZ will die to Cacao as well. And great play from IG's jungler.
Yeah, so they get everything out of Love CD to give a kill over to Kid. Kid. And in the end, they trade absolutely horrendously. I have to say that's well and truly in IG's favor. And you see that the turret is going down as well in the bottom lane. Was it the no, mid lane? Rookie took the turret.
I mean, just quietly, Rookie's been really dominating Dade in this particular lane. Level 9 now on the Azir. Going to go back a massive CS lead of 15 or so as Vlad will catch up as they push in under turret. But being able to take that turret solo, it's been a very isolated mid lane with all the pressure down the bottom. And Rookie's just manhandled Dade in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, he certainly has, really bullying the scaling that needs to go through. We say the same about Azir on this patch, actually, but able to circumvent some of that early game to great effect. And really have to give it to the mid laner for IG. That's a hard lane to win, and he's done it quite handily.
Yeah, he's won convincingly as the tower in the bottom, not quite going down M3, able to defend that with the Jana shield. So nice move in there. Quite low though, will die to any sort of concentrated effort from Invictus Gaming, and Kitty's now going to move around looking for a roam, just putting some vision down.
Yeah, trying to get some deep vision into the blue side of the jungle of M3. Just because as soon as that turret falls down, then they can really start controlling the rest of the map. Desperation coming through from Condi here, teaming up with Lupa. That's going to be a hard gank to make work because Zatai, he's pretty tanky.
They might try their great taunt. Actually, Cacao's there as well. They knew about it the whole time. Rookie has joined in there as well. Condi going to get away, and Nazir trying to chase him, but can't quite close the distance. Condi nowhere good to go. There's been tagged, and it's going to be a long execution. Teleport actually being used by Zatai just to ensure the kill. Taunt will miss there as Condi turns it back around, but Zatai will get it eventually.
Yeah, he certainly will. There's no way you're getting out of that one. Zatai picks up a kill. He's 20 CS behind, so good work by Lupa there. But overall, a kill will make up for majority of that. Another turret falling for IG. And across the map, they are dominating.
They really are. And the Hurricane actually has been picked up for Kids, so you have to think this is maybe a bit more of a snowball purchase.
Yeah, it certainly looks to be the way. And, you know, if they continue to get this far ahead, it doesn't matter because they're going to have the damage available to make it work. Even Cacao at this point in the game doing meaningful damage. The one thing you have to note about Gragas, the more CDR he picks up, the more that W is off cooldown. He chunks with that one ability alone and then keeps himself in range with the rest of his kit. Really is a different kind of jungler, but Cacao making it work.
Yeah, and it's IG making a lot of stuff work here. The jungle Gragas looking great. Shen just fine here. Mostly utility for Zatai at this particular point, but looking good. And Kid and Kitty is so impressive to me. They're able to take over an Urgot Jana lane here with Kalista.
Yeah, it certainly was, I guess, that misplay of the gank. SMLZ wanted to go onto Kitties, as opposed to Condi, who wanted to go onto Kid, and there was split focus. They got both to half health. Would have been able to kill one, but in the end, it just didn't work out.
And Kakal's early pressure has been great. The level 2 that IG got in the bottom lane being great as well. So right now looking really strong as they're up 4,000 gold already. Dragon back in a minute 50. M3 have gotten the first one, but at this stage of the game, especially with Rookie really taking over mid lane as well, I don't think M3 can look to contest for this second Dragon.
No, definitely not. M3 are hoping that this game goes past the 35-minute mark and they become unkillable at this point, because IG really have started to look for the snowball composition. And as long as IG don't, I guess, allow them to stall out and just play the objective game around the map, they should be able to pick this one up quite handily.
And blue buff going to get stolen away there as well. Not too bad, but is going to give a bit of extra power over. Hero Plague actually used by Dade. Oh, missed there by Rookie, just trying to zone him away, but Kakao looking for someone here. Rookie will rotate back in with his Sun Turret. They might try and dive Dade, but a good zoning ultimate there by Vlad.
Yeah, so Dade able to chase Rookie away, even if it was only momentarily. There was a lot of support at hand, and this is a danger of giving up control of the bottom side of the map, because there's no way that they can just track the members of IG now, and it's very hard to farm.
SMLZ there popping that Terra Capacitor, the shield coming in. And now Loveseed going to rejoin. Kakao's in the area though, and now comes Rookie. So IG going to look to go in. Great flash double play there. SMLZ will ulti, and the genre goes in the wrong direction. Loveseed now ultis them back in. Sorry, just got knocked back earlier on, but Rookie gets the first kill. Ren's going to get the second onto Jana, and a great four-man gank by IG.
And this is completely horrible for M3. They've given up. Wow.
Fate's Call used aggressively. Now Condi going to get flayed back as well. Does actually use the ulti. Finds onto both. Kakao will rejoin in as the Ren does good damage. And most importantly, the tier 2 turret already dropped.
And that was an ultimate out of Condi for probably no reason. When Dragon is up in 10 seconds, probably not going to be able to contest for it, but M3 are in shambles around the map, expending resources they didn't even really need to. And Dade, he can continue to try and pick up farm, but unfortunately it just might not be enough.
And Kakao on top of this first Dragon for Invictus Gaming. M3 nowhere near to be able to contest with that tier 2 turret in the bottom lane gone. Invictus Gaming going to pick this one up cleanly, and M3 might not be seeing another Dragon this game.
Yeah, I don't know what they will be seeing for the rest of the game. 7,000 gold, the advantage at 16 minutes. This is an absolute clinic being put on by Invictus Gaming. Every single lane, even the top lane Shen, he doesn't even really want to fight Looper. Doesn't care if he gets out farmed. He's just going to sit up there, survive, continue to split push, have his teleport available twice as often through the ultimate, and there's not really much Looper's going to be able to do unless it gets extremely late.
Yeah, and I like what Looper's doing. He's still farming up, being like, okay, I have some time, I have some space. Let me get my Trinity Force after my boots too. Don't go for the home guard. Probably not so far behind that I have to just make play after play with my teleport. So Looper's getting farmed, that's good, but that's about all the good news right now for Master3.
Yeah, I guess the other good news is that Dade, whilst losing the turret early, has done a respectable job of staying up in farm. He's just been able to push out the wave as often as he can, and now only is Rookie trying to deny him in that mid lane, as opposed to outright just shove him in repetitively as he's been trying to do in the past. So Vlad's getting farm, Hecarim's getting farm, but apart from that, 7,000 gold lead is absolutely gigantic.
Yeah, and it's a timing thing, like you said already. M3 have got some good champions. They'll scale just fine, but they have to get to that point, and IG not letting up at this particular stage of the game with 6-1 in kills and 3-0 up in turrets. The Ty will keep pushing with his Sunfire. Locket's been completed now by Kakao, and even a Stinger here for Rookie. You can just tell by some of the early item choices, lots of aggressive oriented play here from Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, and recognizing that, yeah, there was a huge team fight potential that could come out of M3 with how tanky their lineup. So let's go for a team fight focused build. Going for the Hurricane, going for the Locket. They're very team fight focused here in their setup is IG against a team fight heavy comp, because they know they peak earlier.
Yeah, we're going to see the Siege now coming through. Kid doing good damage. Kakao just trying to get them off the turret, or maybe even throw someone in. Dade has to watch out, gets knocked out there by Gragas. The Lantern going to get thrown in as well as the tower will fall in. Dade going aggressive. Rookie getting swapped back in, but ulti's 2 back in. Condi and SMLZ now in a whole host of trouble as Jana tries to split them up, but the Tires come down with his ulti. That will right in. Looper gets 1 kill, but should look to fall as a result. Kid even going to flash forward just to make sure he gets it. Kakao looking for Dade, ease into the base, tries to find the Q's, already used his ultimate, can flash up, but the Ty's going to join him, flash taunt there, will find Dade, and Kakao gets that kill.
Yeah, so able to pick up 4 for 1. This will break the base pre-20 minutes. I don't even know what the heck is happening there. IG just look like they're miles ahead, and they are 10,000 gold, 20 minutes. That's huge.
It is absolutely massive here, Spawn, and that inhibitor will fall down. Super Minion's going to start trickling into the base around the 19-minute mark, and a team that had reasonably low upfront damage, especially now when they're scaling, is going to struggle so much to kick these minions out of the base. And for me, Spawn, for all the craziness that 5.6 has brought, this game no exception. It's the teams that are executing well strategically at a grand level, the ones that are still succeeding.
Yeah, well, no matter how, we've said that it's kind of the tanky meta right now, but if you are 10,000 gold behind, you can pick every single tank you want, get all the OPs on your team. If you can't execute early game with the team comp, it's not going to work, and you can just see IG, they knocked down 2 early turrets and 1 consistently across the map. There was only really when Urgot came back to lane with the tier and kind of bullied out Kitties that you saw a ray of hope there. Since then, it's been a complete shutout.
Yeah, I mean, Looper trying. He's got his Trinity Force now. Had a decent ult in the last fight to pick up a trade kill, but Zatai even going to maybe start bullying him, and Zatai doing Zatai things right now. He has a Sheen.
Yeah, he's going to go for that Trinity Force, and this has always been the thing about Shen. If you're strong enough to tank and you're able to get that luxury Trinity Force, all of a sudden, you do very real damage.
Yeah, I mean, you're just a threat. You're a bruiser at that point, which is crazy for someone that's mostly a pure tank. Dade up here, I think mostly trying to take farm rather than actually gank the lane. And Zatai just walk around, maybe even start proxying these waves that are pushing in.
Yeah, exactly right. And Dade, he's probably saying, we're going to get dove right now. You need to stick around. Looper's like, mate, you came and taxed my wave. I am out of here. And this is horrible news. They're trying to use the Urgot to push out the lane. It probably won't even work. And Dade, he's in very real danger of dying.
Kid is coming in. Kid's now here as well. Good play back there, Dade. Not quite going to use the Sanguine Pool, holds onto it for now, but they're just going to dive straight onto Ty. Very tanky. The Hemu play does pop down. Dade gets taunted up there. He's in the pool, but Kid going to look for the red. Rookie even up here as well, and Kid will get the kill. Arise use on the turret. They'll take out their 6th turret of the game, finally getting the top outer, and now they'll start pushing.
Yeah, and there is nothing M3 can do right now. Gragas is split pushing bottom lane by himself. The super creeps in the base already. Cacao can just go over the wall if he so chooses and clean that one out. And you think that that might potentially be the game right now. 11,000 gold, 20 minutes. Looks like one last fight.
Oh, Looper goes. That Kid actually not in now. The ulti hitting through. Does knock them back, but still gets stunned up. Kid now ulted by Zatai. Massive shields on top of him. Massive ult there by Rookie as well to disengage. Zatai riding back into the fight with his stun. There's a tower from Azir as well. The flash hook does land onto SMLC for the double there for Rookie. And Love CD, you better run. Gragas, by the way, still hanging out. What a 4v4 by IG.
Yeah, so IG just completely take over again.
Yeah,
we'll leave it at that.
Massively outclassed M3 there in game 1, I think's a fair way to put it. Invictus Gaming just won a lot of their lanes, navigated the chaos of what was one insane looking draft in M3. Same sort of team, it doesn't really matter. Yes, Dade might suit one meta to the other, but the team's just never been playing consistently. And IG, we had questions about their consistency. Incredible game 1 to kick off their 5.6 experience.
Yeah, it certainly is. And we've said maybe Cacao doesn't have the champion pool. He's very aggressive, likes to go damage heavy. Played the Gragas very well, you have to say, and completely outclassed Condi in the jungle alone. This is IG trying to show we are the 2nd best team in the region. I don't think anyone will surpass EDG at this point, but a couple of teams are really pushing for that 2nd.
And look, Cacao, yeah, playing some different junglers. Gragas, a far cry from Lee Sin and Rek'Sai, but Cacao still played the same way. Look to dominate the enemy jungle, get aggressive, counter jungle where I can. It's like Dandy. Dandy might play every champion under the sun, but his style doesn't change, and neither does Cacao's.
Yeah, exactly right. And you even saw with the early turret dives, he's looking to use these tanks in a very forward fashion. Still going for some damage output, and he completely smashed the jungle matchup. He was 25 CS up.
Yeah, incredible play there from Invictus Gaming. We'll see what M3 have to answer here after that brutal game 1 from them, but we'll see if they can pick themselves back up, and maybe Dada can do some heavy lifting. Don't go too far. We'll be back for game 2.